Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center. Welcome to the world of magic and miracles, beyond the world of magic and miracles. Excuse me, starting with an itchy throat, sorry. Wow, another gorgeous day here in Northern California, Sierra Nevada foothills. Sorry, I barely got here in front of the camera. Got a lot going on here. So welcome to each and every one of you amazing beings that's joining us here today live, or perhaps sometime in the future. Where to begin today? Sometimes I feel like I could just talk forever, even though I have no idea. I have no plans. I have no idea for what I'm going to say when I sit here in front of the camera. But it's such a great experience with the amazing support each and every one of us here at the Advancement Center has. We have this amazing support team when we sit down and the camera goes live. And when I speak of that kind of support, it's divine support. Because what my favorite thing to do is when I sit here, it's an amazing opportunity to just immediately connect with my creator, to my eternal being that exists everywhere for all time. It's one of those places, like I've said before, I strive to live here most of the time. That is or all of the time, I should say. It's something easier said than done for me. My experience of David Bess, one of our amazing Advancement Center team that does his broadcasts every Friday and every Monday at noon here on this channel. Everything that he's been putting forth, his writings, his presentations to us, makes me feel like he is living in this place that I speak of quite often, if not all the time. And I think it's fantastic. And when I speak of that for my own self, there are always challenges and sometimes way more than others. This is probably one of the most challenging times of my life here on physical planet Earth. But it's during those times, they're here for a reason. You could perhaps call it a test, if you will. I feel like I'm often failing this particular test this time. But the biggest one for me that I see, and I'm happy I see it. It's not necessarily a pleasant thing to see, but I see my reactiveness. So when things get tough, it's easy when things are easy. But when interactions with people, loved ones, circumstances, events, just test everything about your being. It's in those moments, like, do you react or do you pause? The key and the secret to this life is to pause, not react. Connect with who you really are, which is beyond reaction, where there only lives love and compassion. I'm saying this from this place of, I wish I could be this way all the time, and I'm definitely not. And it makes me sad a lot that it's still a struggle for me. But again, the endless support here, both in the physical, in the non-physical, and all of this that we go through in this human experience. The support is amazing. And this week's invitation, and I believe one from maybe a couple weeks back, very close to my heart. I'm quoting from being Elder Akai, and I cannot tell you the support I'm feeling from those beings that are not, well, they're actually circling our planet right now. They're looking after our Earth. They've been doing so for millennia. This just happens to be a very special time to be on planet Earth. What's coming for us is really quite incredible. It's kind of hard to believe what's coming. I can feel it. I get little momentary visions of it. I've had visions in the past, although I didn't know what I was seeing. Now it's starting to make sense. And what's really amazing, when I was a really little girl, I had a very clear moment in time where I expressed to my parents my dream home. It was a house with the mountains and the trees on one side, the ocean on the other side, the fields, beautiful fields of rolling grass and trees on another side. And I think I even put the desert on one side of this home. And basically for me, it's always been about nature, being in nature, connected to nature. I didn't want it to even feel like there were walls in the house. I wanted the inside and outside to flow. And it's a funny thing over the years, if I'm in different people's homes and people who like to say, close their window shades, their drapes when it's still light outside, or even at night, to be honest, it's always challenging for me. I don't like it. I start to feel a little bit claustrophobic. It's something about, I had this connection to the outside world. Never enjoyed being in skyscrapers, high-rise buildings, especially the ones with windows that don't open. Never been my cup of tea. But another thing, I don't know if it was at that time, but at a later time in my life, I also, thinking of my dream home, I wanted to wake up with the sunrise. And at the end of the day, I wanted to see my sunset, to see the sunset. Well, guess where I am? I'm in this amazing house in the tree. Well, it's half in the trees, big, beautiful ponderosa pines, a lot of black oaks, lots of trees, lots of nature, lots of wild and crazy animals that come to visit. But here's the icing on the cake for me. The upstairs bedroom where I stay has got this huge 4x4 skylight. I may have mentioned this before. Sorry, I'm going to mention it again. This huge 4x4 skylight right over the bed. So as I'm falling asleep at night, or as I wake up at the wee hours of the morning, and you're just looking up. I mean, that's where your eyes go. The stars, the moon, it's quite amazing. I'm so happy to have that in my bedroom, let alone the windows and the view of the trees and this beautiful valley with the Yuba River down at the bottom of it. Just, it's pretty amazing. And I think I mentioned this before, but I just have to say it again. There are so many ships, talking about spaceships, that started for me when I got here last November. I remember when I first got here, my mother had broken her femur. She was first in the hospital, and then she was in rehab for about a month. So I was here by myself, and I was in the living room one night, and there was this really bright light outside the window over the across the valley. It was a little bit, I actually felt the presence. I felt like I was being watched. It was really wild. It was so bright. It was like I know I mentioned this in one of my other broadcasts, but it was like an airplane was flying towards me at a distance. That's how bright the light was. If you've ever been in a situation where an airplane swings around and for a moment, well, it didn't go away. It wasn't an airplane. It didn't leave. And I saw it night after night. And then I got confirmation that, in fact, it was a ship that wanted me to know it was their spaceship. And the skylight I've been speaking about, also, not sure when I started noticing this, but it's usually 4:30, 5:30 in the morning when spaceships are flying right overhead. I mean, they're at a distance. They look like stars, so these bright little points of light, but they're moving. And they don't move like an airplane. I've seen my share of airplanes go over the skylight. It's not an airplane. In fact, I even have an app on my phone, because there was a while I was like, oh, who's flying overhead? But there's no sound, and there was no airplanes. So the visitations, these beings that are, you could call them our angels, that have been looking after us for so long, are making themselves seen. You've probably seen it in the news, in the real news, not the fake news, or both, but they're making themselves seen all over the planet right now. And there's a really exciting time coming very soon. I don't like to speak about it a lot or go into a lot of detail, because what I hold about it is very clear to me, but there are still a lot of people here on planet Earth that aren't ready for this information. It's a little freaky. So I don't share it a lot, and probably won't go into a lot of detail here. But I just want to say there's so much love and support surrounding us. It doesn't matter what things look like here. It's just a waking dream we're in. And I just have to say, what an amazing time to be here on planet Earth, having this unbelievable experience. One of the reasons it's so much fun for me is the closer we get to this special time that I keep referring to, the more abilities, or the more I think I've already had some of these abilities. I never really knew what they were, paid much attention to them, because they didn't make any sense to my brain. But abilities like feeling someone when they're nowhere near you, feeling what they're going through. I have this way of seeing things before they happen often, or there's been a lot of work around here with the house and my mother, and I'm always seeing in advance. Like, I just see what needs to be done, like what needs to be done up until that moment. It's very clear. It just comes in this, it's not through my brain. It's much faster and much more clear. But there's a clarity that I've just never had before. There's a, there's so much amazing stuff happening. And I tell you, there was somebody here the other day. We had to replace my mother's wood burning stove. She had a tenant here many decades ago who actually destroyed her stove. And I almost had a fire here last winter, partly as a result of the damage to this thing. So my sweet love of my life miraculously found a wood burning stove that it's almost identical. It looks the same. It's a tiny bit bigger. It's a better color, slightly lighter color. It's a better color. So he and a friend were installing this, taking out the old one. These things are like 400 pounds. It's a big deal. It was complicated. So his friend, he's over 6 feet tall, older guy. He was up on a ladder right next to me. This was last weekend, Saturday or something. And I was focused on something. And next thing I know, he's right next to me. He started falling off this ladder backwards. And there's my boyfriend on the other side of him, bent over. So I'm seeing this big man falling, about to fall on my boyfriend's back. Plus there's a step that goes, it was really not a good place to fall, let alone fall at all. Oh my gosh. And I let out a scream. You would not believe how well that ended. He did land on my boyfriend's back, but in just a way that it didn't hurt him. And he just sort of rolled off and it was fine. It was like one of the most graceful things for a clumsy fall. The result of it was one of the most graceful things I've ever seen. And I was the only one that could see it. My boyfriend was looking down. He had his, anyway. So I don't know. I have some feelings about that whole experience. And there was another one. There was another really frightening thing happened with a buck that crossed in front of our path a couple weeks ago. Frightening. But nothing happened. So this is just my way of sharing. There's a lot of magic and miracles happening. And if you live in this place, if you stay connected to your own self, I'm telling you, you will begin, if you let yourself experience, let yourself notice these gifts that will be popping up. They may have already been in you. Maybe you didn't even recognize them. They may be new. They may be gifts that you've had and suddenly they're increasing in strength and power, and it's pretty amazing. It gives me a thrill to have these experiences. I mean, not necessarily ones I'd want, like absolute mortal terror for a moment or two, but the end result coming through is pretty amazing. So I know there's many people, we've been programmed to not be aware of our natural innate gifts and abilities and talents. Some of us, some beings do get connected. I mean, I see musicians, I see, especially in the, well, I was gonna say, especially in the arts, but there's more. I mean, there's just brilliant people that just are just so gifted and that are here. And some of them see their gifts or just move with their gifts right away. And they're prodigies or they do these amazing things. Others of us, we just all have a different experience here, but we all have amazing gifts. And the programming we've received through schools and a lot of brainwashing that's happened has steered us away from these talents and abilities and gifts. Like I was just sharing with someone the other day, the power they actually have over their own body. If you just speak to your own body, if you're kind to your own body, if you encourage your body to heal from something, it will respond. And this person just sort of smirked me off. Like, yeah, right. So there's a lot of that here too. So this is just one more sharing to you. If you're watching this today or tomorrow or whenever. This is for you. Be aware, be open to see popping in of new gifts, the growing of your gifts and abilities you already have, because it's happening, because we're about to experience something no other being on earth has ever experienced before. So I think that's it for today. I'm just sharing, as I always do, in the hopes that someone, or maybe have a light bulb go off, or be encouraged or reminded of who they are and what's real, and just to stay forever connected to your beautiful, infinite being that you are. It's a joy for each and every one of us to experience that in each other. So the more we stay in that place, the more fun we all have, especially you. So thank you once again for joining me here. I want to wish each and every one of you the most perfect health, perfect life, and I guarantee the most magic future you can even imagine. Thank you again for joining me. I am Genya.